What if being book smart is just one tiny piece of a way bigger puzzle? Today, we're diving into a theory that completely blew the lid off the old school definition of intelligence, Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. So, let's kick things off with a huge question, right? What if the way we've been measuring smart for the last 100 years or so has been fundamentally wrong? For decades, our entire idea of intelligence got boiled down to just one thing: a single, all-powerful number. And that number, of course, came from the IQ test. For the better part of a century, this created a kind of one-size-fits-all idea of the brain. And believe me, its brain was absolute. This whole idea of a single score for smarts, it really took off back in the early 1900s, thanks to Alfred Binet over in France. His intelligence quotient, or IQ, was this super simple, really compelling idea that it basically went viral. And pretty soon, it became the ultimate ruler for measuring ability, everywhere from schools to offices. So, what did this IQ score actually measure? Well, it pretty much boiled down to just two things: how good you were with words and how good you were with numbers and logic. That's it. Seriously. If you were great at those, you got the intelligent label. But what if your genius was in music or art or just, understanding people? The IQ test, it had no box for you to tick. None. But a view that narrow can't last forever, right? People started to wonder, wait a minute, is that really all there is to being smart? It was definitely time to rethink the whole definition. And that's what led to a totally groundbreaking new theory. The person at the center of this whole shift was a Harvard professor named Howard Gardner. And back in the 80s, he basically dropped a bombshell on the world of psychology. He called it the theory of multiple intelligences, and he argued that we needed a much, much broader and more inclusive way to think about what people are capable of. And really, the difference between these two models it's night and day. The old IQ view, it was like this rigid little box. It only measured language and logic, and it kind of suggested your intelligence was set in stone from birth. Gardner's theory, it just completely shattered that box. He saw intelligence not as one single static thing, but more like a dynamic garden, full of different talents that could all be nurtured and grown. Gardner's whole theory is built on this really powerful, simple logic. It goes like this. Principle 1, people are not all the same. Simple enough? Principle 2, because we're all different, we don't all learn in the same way. And so, the logical conclusion, principle 3, is that education works best when it actually respects these differences, instead of trying to shove everyone into the exact same mold. Okay, so what are these different kinds of smart? Well, Gardner imagined them like a set of tools in a toolbox. Every person has one, and each tool has its own unique job. So let's open up that toolbox and check out the 8 different kinds of intelligence he laid out. So yeah, instead of just 1 or 2 ways to be smart, Gardner identified 8 distinct kinds, and his belief was that every single one of us has our own unique mix of these. It's like our own personal toolkit for getting through life. All right, so here's the whole set. You've got your linguistic, that's word smart, and logical mathematical, number smart. Now those first two, that's what the old IQ tests were all about. But Gardner's theory just blows that wide open, adding 6 more. You've got musical, spatial or picture smart, bodily kinesthetic or body smart, interpersonal or people smart, intrapersonal, which is self smart, and finally naturalist, being nature smart. All of a sudden, the whole idea of what it means to be smart becomes so much richer, so much more complex. Let's zoom in on one. Take bodily kinesthetic intelligence, body smarts. I mean, just think about the sheer genius of an athlete like Serena Williams, or a dancer like Misty Copeland, or an incredible actor. They're literally solving problems and expressing super complex ideas using their bodies. An IQ test? It would just completely miss this kind of brilliance. It wouldn't even register. Or what about interpersonal intelligence? This is about being people smart. It's that amazing ability to understand and really connect with other people. It's what makes a fantastic leader, or a really compassionate teacher, or just someone you love working with on a team. It's a hugely powerful intelligence that's all about navigating our social world. And then, on the flip side of that, you've got intrapersonal intelligence. This is being self-smart. This is all that quiet, internal work of understanding yourself, your own emotions, what drives you, your whole inner world. It's the strength you see in a reflective writer or someone who practices mindfulness, or really just anyone who is deeply in tune with who they are. Okay, so this theory is really fascinating, right? But you might be wondering, what's the real-world payoff? So what? How does knowing this actually change anything? Well, the biggest and most powerful application has been in education, taking this theory off the page and putting it to work right in the classroom. And the lesson for educators is, well, it's simple, but it's also incredibly profound. If your classroom is full of all these different kinds of minds, then you absolutely need to use different kinds of teaching methods. A single one-size-fits-all lesson, it's pretty much guaranteed to leave some students behind. So, how do you actually build a classroom like that? A smarter classroom? Well, it all starts with step one, acknowledge the differences. You have to recognize that every student walks in the door with a totally unique toolkit of strengths. And that leads to step two, vary your activities. You can't just lecture all day, you have to mix it up. Bring in group projects for your people smart kids, hands-on models for your body smart kids, and creative stuffs like music or art. And when you do that, step three, you're engaging all these multiple intelligences. You're not just teaching a subject anymore, you're creating a place where every single learner can find a way to connect and to succeed. But look, this theory isn't just for teachers in a classroom. Not at all. Maybe the most important application is for you. It's a really powerful tool for helping you discover your own unique strengths and understand your personal profile of intelligence. And this quote from the research really just gets to the heart of the whole thing. Intelligence is not fixed and not limited to language or mathematics. People have many different strengths that can grow with practice and opportunity. That right there, that is the core empowering message of this entire theory. Your mind isn't some static thing that's set in stone. It's alive, and it has incredible potential for growth. So what does all this mean for you, right now, today? It means you can finally stop thinking of yourself in terms of a single score. You are a unique, complex profile of many different strengths. You're not a number. And the best part? Every single one of those abilities is like a muscle. With a little practice, with the right opportunities, it can get stronger. So, as we wrap things up here, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. I want you to picture that personal toolbox of intelligences that you have. Which one of those tools have you maybe been neglecting? And more importantly, which one are you going to start sharpening next?